This is for those of you coming in later or watching this at a later date. This is one of our regularly unscheduled live streams, so of course I just get it started and give people a time to show up. We are doing something a little different tonight. We're trying this portrait view instead of landscape. They've been trying to get me to, YouTube's been trying to get me to try it for a while, and I've been refusing. We're going to see what all the fuss is about. Someone's here. I'm going to assume that that is Isaac, since he was the only one. Oh, yep, it's Isaac. Who had any idea we would be going live tonight? Any definite idea? So while we wait for other people to show up, let me get the chat up and running. Oh, we jumped to 9 real quick. Yeah, Isaac, it is a new format. I don't know why YouTube is wanting all of the live streams to go to this portrait instead of landscape. Hey, Tyler. But they are, and you've got to go do it like a whole different, they make it complicated to do it portrait now. So we're going to try and I'm willing to, God, we lost 2 people already. And I'm willing to do that extra step to make it landscape if it makes a difference. But if it doesn't make a difference, then we'll try this portrait thing, because it's supposed to be easy to make it get shorts out of it. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Dean, how you doing? Paul Meadows here. All right, let me get this chat up and running. So we want to talk about a couple things tonight. This isn't going to be a real long live stream. Maybe about an hour. My phone won't hold the charger, so I've got to do things. So it's got to be set and flat and just exactly right to charge. But yeah, we're going to talk about bulletproof housing, because everyone seemed mildly interested in that video I did this weekend. And then Isaac had an experience voting today, and we're going to talk about Karen and her muscle. Because the true mission of our law enforcement personnel is to be Karen's muscle. Our law enforcement was not designed to promote peace or freedom or even safety. It was to provide muscle for Karen. All right. Kids have been playing on the computer. All of my tabs are closed. Ain't that just the way? Stick with us, folks. This is really quick for us to get to 13, so I appreciate that. Oh, Rob Kowalski is live. I wish I'd have realized that. We might have. All right, the chat is up. Apparently I have caps locks on, so the kids were definitely playing. All right. Isaac, you got the chat. Palmetto, I don't know if you knew this, but Dean is a moderator too. We got a ton of moderators. We got Palmetto's a moderator. Isaac's a moderator. Isaac's actually an advanced moderator. I bet you didn't know that was a thing, but it is. And then Dean's a moderator. So the chat should be covered. All right, let's talk about, what should we talk about first? Should we talk about bulletproof houses, or should we talk about Karen's muscle? If you don't mind, give us a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm. The algorithm laughs at us. But, I mean, what the hell? Let them laugh. We got to work with what we have to work with. Abolish the popo. Rumble is just I want to make Rumble work. I do. I want to make Rumble work. I don't know if y'all have noticed. I have been trying to fire this channel back up. I had gotten discouraged and a little soured on the whole thing because it had quit growing. But hey, Wolfpack, John Davies is here. Yeah, thank you, Isaac. I appreciate that. It felt like the channel was doing good, and then hit a brick wall, just like boom, hit a brick wall. But I'm back in the saddle. I get a little sideways every once in a while, and then I've got to get back on track, and I'm back on track, and we'll see how long I stay. So anyway, the point of all that, I don't remember what the point of all that was. Well, anyway, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I've been trying to be more regular uploads, and then more live streams, and the next stage is to actually put something on Patreon, and then the stage along with that is to start putting all this stuff on Rumble regularly too. If you babble, they will come. Reed Sandburn, how about just realizing double brick exterior walls are thermally and ballistically superior? Post and beam framing for interior walls, two forms of heat, oil and wood, etc. Build sustainable. You know what? Okay, Reed, since you were the first one uh, to post a preference, we'll start with bulletproof houses. So, what Reed, if I'm saying that right, if it's supposed to be right, I apologize. I'm going to go with Reed. What Reed is saying is true. So, I don't know if you saw our video from this weekend. I've been building these sort of hillbilly timber framed log cabin walls on a little addition I'm putting on the back of the house. It's going to be a combination. Well, I can let that go. A combination sunroom slash in the summer it'll be a screened-in porch, and in the winter it'll be a sunroom, and it'll basically be a dining room slash sort of. We got a lot of kids, and I have we need a big, large sort of like dining hall type thing. Just sort of a common area for meals and whatnot. That's the vision right now. Who knows what happens when you know how plans go. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Bobby. Well, actually, Sabbath is over now, but still. And these walls I'm just making them out of 6x6 timbers because my father-in-law has a sawmill. We got all these logs laying around. We're just cutting them up and boom. And so I've got 6x6s, and so I'm just stacking them up for walls, and I don't have to insulate them. I don't have to finish them. I don't have to put siding on it. I don't have to put sheetrock on it. They're just 6x6 walls, and I'll chink the gaps as they appear. Right, boom, wham, bam, slam. We're done. I love it. It's my kind of solution to a problem. It means we get to cut trees and run power saws, and no one has to sand or paint anything. So the question was, were they bulletproof? I didn't think 6x6 pine had any shot in hell of stopping 5.56, and I'm still relatively certain that's true. But a bunch of people have questioned me on that on the comments on the video. Hey, Luke is here, holding my 5-month-old. Congratulations, that's a wonderful feeling. Hey, Mark Becker, how you doing? Are you going to put oil on the exterior of the wall? I'm not sure yet, Isaac. We'll talk about that. Anywho. And so I've got all these scraps laying around, and so I said, hell, let's shoot them. It'll be fun. And it was fun, and we filmed it, and it was a cute little video, and it's doing fairly well. But and I think now our buddy Halfcan has said that he thinks a slug will go through that 6x6, a 12 gauge slug. I don't have any slugs that I'm aware of. Do I have any slugs? Well, let's look. But I'll be honest with you, I don't. Buckshot. buckshot. What is this? Buckshot. I don't have any slugs. So I'm going to try to track down. I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on 12 gauge slugs because I don't really need them. But I'll track down a 12 gauge slug. I'll see if, maybe I'll just go buy some slugs. I don't know. And we'll try it with slugs. I don't think the slugs are going to get through that 6x6 because the buckshot just barely, I mean, the buckshot, at $1 a shot, I'll go buy some damn slugs, Isaac. You've shamed me. Got a lot of damn kids, though. And I had I'm so stupid. I was driving through Atlanta Thursday night and looked in the rearview mirror to change lanes, and I've got this thing called a pitch hopper. Basically, it's a styrofoam platform you put on roofs. And I noticed the pitch hopper, it was out of place, and I said, I need to put that back where it belongs in the truck. And so I stopped at one of my jobs and failed to move the pitch hopper back in place and started driving again. And I looked in the rearview mirror and I said, the pitch hopper is out of place. I need to put that back where it goes. And instead of pulling over and doing it, I kept driving and it flew out the back of the truck and it smashed the windshield on a car behind me. So, of course, I had to pull over and buy a guy a windshield on the side of the road because, I smashed his windshield. So I'm a little busted this week. No slugs on American, Mark Becker says. Yeah, I know, Palmetto. I was like, And then I came home. I got home about 11 o'clock that night. And I went to take a shower and I turned the cold water and the freaking handle just busts off the shower and just cold water starts shooting out of the faucet handle. It's 11 o'clock at night. It completely stripped out. It's a 30-year-old faucet, and it was a garbage to begin with because of double wide trailer. And so I just shut all the water off to the entire house. I just shut off the water. I told Mariah, "You're out of water until I wake up in the morning." And she's like, "Okay." Poor my one of my stepdaughters goes to public school, and she said, "That poor girl just have to deal with it in the morning." And I went, So 11 o'clock at night, I'm out in a bathrobe, thrashing around and trying to find all of the various plumbing fittings I got stacked everywhere. And finally find something I can cap that cold water line. So I go and cut the cold water line and cap it and get the water turned back on to the whole house so the girl can have a shower in the morning before I was up 2:30 before I got done with all that. So I am flat busted this week. We ain't because then Friday I had to go and try to figure out a way to make the shower work again. Because I had the cold water line capped coming in, and the hot water you could turn off, but if you tried to turn the hot water on, the hot water would blow out the cold water side where it was busted. So anyway, all that to say, we ain't buying slugs this week. We'll buy slugs next week. Check this out. Yeah, Dean, those probably are yellow pine. I didn't cut those. We have more yellow pine around here than white pine, but we do have a lot of white pine too, so it could be either one. Oh, don't lose that. That would not be good. Look at this. I'm going to talk about how broke I am. Adam, North Point Axe Adam sent me this. I don't know if y'all have seen this yet. It's kind of newish. All I heard was circus music. So I know it looks like a pistol grip. And maybe it is, and it functions like a pistol grip. But it is also a fishing reel. So you can fish with your AR-15. Yay! Cletus, take the reel. So we're going to be having some fun with this. I actually have I have a $100 gift certificate to a local gun store I've never used. So I'm gonna go. Where did that? I'm gonna go Friday when I get off work and buy a new lower, a strip. I think I'm gonna get a strip lower because I think I've got all the stuff here I need. Most of all the stuff, not everything. I know I don't have the takedown pins, and I don't have the oh, that thing in the back. I don't have the takedown pins. I don't have the buffer spring retaining pin, and I don't have the. Well, maybe I don't need that. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I don't have the safety and all that either. Now, maybe I won't do that. No, I do have a safety. It doesn't matter. I don't want to bore you guys with all that. 1187 Gar says he'll send us some slugs. I appreciate that, brother. I don't know, Isaac. I'll have to see what they've got up there. Oh man, no one liked my story. We dropped down to 23. That's awful. We were at 30 and we dropped down to 23. I just got to see what they have up there at the place where I get the where I have the gift certificate to. Okay, all of that to say, I got to thinking about bulletproof houses. Don't buy a strip lower from GBRS Group. Okay. Did someone ask about a pistol? What am I missing here? All right, Toburama Suzuki. What's a first handgun recommendation? I've been wanting to purchase one, but I don't know what to get. First handgun. Ruger Security 9. And, okay, so that category. I'm a Ruger fanboy. Don't buy anything from GBRS. Isaac likes a single stack 9mm, so Isaac wants you to buy a high point. I say Ruger Security 9. There's also the Taurus. Yeah, Mark, everyone's going to say Glocks. But here's the thing about Glocks, though, Mark, is they're actually kind of expensive. Yeah, the Smith & Wesson Shield is a good choice. Yeah, Luke B has the Security 9. Great gun for the price. But it's a real inexpensive, easy to use gun, and it's going to let you get started and let you figure out what you like and what fits best for you. Yeah, Taurus G3. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, everyone's liking their Glocks. The thing is, the Glock is a $500-$600 gun, and the Security 9 is like a $320 gun. Oh, PSA dagger, yeah. Shield. But you ask 10 gun guys a recommendation for first handgun, and you're going to get 20 different answers. All Glocks are gay, Palmetto says. Glocks are very good guns. There's no denying that Glocks are good guns. I don't like them. I think they're overpriced for what they are now. They didn't used to be. Yeah, it is all the magazine is a big deal. Sorry, pistol was digging into me. If you buy a Glock, you're not going to go wrong. You are not going to go wrong with a Glock. It's a good pistol. If you just want one pistol, you need a pistol. You're never going to be a gun guy. A Glock will serve you very, very, very well. Oh, Robert has seen the new SIG 8.6 Blackout. Wow, you like it, huh? Yeah, Beretta got too heavy. So yeah, Glock is a fine gun. Fine gun. It bores me, and I don't like the pistol grip. I'm one of those CZ75 guys. I like the way that feels in my hand. Some people do, some people don't. Some people like the way the Glock feels, some people don't. I'm just not a Glock guy. Mark's first gun was a Colt Trooper 357. Yikes. What was my first handgun? I guess my first handgun that I ever bought would have been a Yeah, the first handgun I ever bought myself was back then it was called a IMI uh, Baby Eagle. I had the that is not going to stay. I had the compact version, steel frame, with the slide mounted safety, uh, and it was Palmetto's Palmetto's first handgun was a High Point C9, and I still have it, and it still works. They're great guns. Yeah, Tobarama, it's hard asking a live stream. Oh, Wolfpack's first pistol was a Baby Eagle too. A live stream of gun guys, what your first pistol should be. Uh, I it's the great thing Tobarama about right now is that we live in a golden age of guns, and it is really hard to buy a bad handgun. I mean, really hard to buy. Uh, oh, really, Wolfpack? Your Baby Eagle wasn't reliable. Uh, that's interesting. What was it? Not, I guess it was not shooting, but what was going on with it? Uh, I could hit a thrown chew can in the air about half the time. Oh, with that Colt, you can still get a police trade in Glock 22 for like $300. Yeah, and a used pistol for and a used Glock for $300 is like I said, you're gonna have a fine pistol. There's no doubt about it. Uh, I I I think. I mean, look, you buy a $320 handgun, and now you've saved yourself $180 from a $500 Glock, uh, and yeah, you can buy ammunition and get a safety class. Uh, I say for your first handgun, if you can get a really good, reliable, ergonomic, light handgun like a Security 9, and then and spend that money saved on some ammunition or some training, I think you'd be better served. Uh, so William likes the Thesis Gen 3 PX9 when they're on sale. I am not familiar with that. Is that one of those Turkish guns or the Filipino guns? Do you have a Spaz 12 or AA 12 shotgun? I do not, Alakazam. Alakazam 777. A Spaz 12 or an AA 12 shotgun. No. In fact, I do not have a semi automatic shotgun at all. I have a break action shotgun, I have a pump shotgun, and then I am a AR-15 guy from there on out. Uh, if you think you need a 33 round pistol magazine, what you really need is more range time. Turkish. Okay. Yeah, the Turks have been making some really interesting pistols at really affordable prices uh, for a while now, William. Anyone else have anything to suggest for a first handgun other than no one said anything about a 38 special pistol or a revolver at all. Uh, Michigan Silverback really likes the TISA 911s. That whoa boy, look at that 319 and 349. That's a really good price on a 1911. And if they're at all well-made 1911s, especially if they have parts interchangeability, that's the big thing with 1911s. Uh, Alaska Kazam likes the Beretta M9. I love the Beretta M9. I think it is a fantastic pistol. Uh, I don't know if it's a first pistol. Uh, and now I have a gun room. Uh, I don't think you can go wrong with a 38 special. You know, as long as got a 2 or 3 inch barrel at least. Uh, uh, I I was looking at a Charter Arms recently. I was thinking about getting one for Mariah. And hey, Master Sergeant Terrific is here, or Tarek is here. Have you checked out that new box fed 12 gauge that you can change out the upper to an AR 556? I have not seen that, and that would be interesting. So basically, is it a 12? Oh no. Well, how does that work with the magwell? Yeah, I guess that would fit. Huh. That's interesting. Wheel gun. So wheel guns don't jam, but here's what everyone forgets about revolvers. They're actually very, very complex pieces of machinery, far more complex than most semi-automatic handguns. They've got way more parts. They're way more intricate, way more machining, lots of timing. They're literal clockwork. I mean, they're literal clockworks. 12 gauge to 5.56. So when they go wrong, they go very, very, very wrong. They don't have magazines. And the real weak point on most semi-automatic firearms, period, is the magazine. The magazine is frequently what if you're that's the biggest problem. The second biggest problem is ammunition. You're more likely to have a dud round than you are to have a a jam that's not related to the magazine. And so what's great about revolvers is you eliminate the magazine, so you eliminate the biggest source of malfunctions. And if there's a problem with the ammunition, you just pull the trigger and it, bang. Where if you have, you can't touch guns on a live stream or YouTube dumps you, but, or I would demonstrate this. Not that I have to demonstrate it for you, men. But obviously, if you've got a dud round in a semi-automatic handgun, now you've got to rack the slide. And of course, there's other things that can go wrong too, with double feeds and failures to extract, and all these things that on a semi-automatic handgun you'd have to drop the magazine, clear the malfunction, reassert the magazine, and potentially re-rack around if you hadn't locked the slide to the rear. And with a revolver, all you got to do is pull the trigger. Pull the trigger, pull the trigger, pull the trigger. So it's not that revolvers have an inherent reliability advantage, except that they eliminate the magazine, which is inherently the problem most of the time, and any problems that do have. Well, yeah, they eliminate extraction and ejection and all the things where problems happen. Anyway, Taurus G3C has double strike capability, which is great for dry fire practice. I carry both a semi-auto and a revolver at the same time. Both have advantages. They do. They do. If you could have just one of your weapons for a zombie apocalypse, which would it be? So as the question is, that's the big thing, Kinetic. You can't limp wrist a revolver. I don't know how well y'all can see this. My boyfriend broke up with me and I cut no, I'm kidding. I had a wrist injury at one point, a really, really bad wrist injury. In fact, the artery was exposed right here. You could just see it pulsing. It was really scary. I don't know how I exposed the artery and didn't cut it, but by the grace of God, I did. And for several years after that wrist injury, I was limp wristing. That's why I have that Ruger Security 6 I have. Because I just couldn't. I wasn't reliable with a semi-auto. And revolvers eliminate that. For that reason, hey, hello from Quebec. Hey, Patrick E. Thoughts on a 7-shot 22 Magnum revolver for women to carry? We'll come right back to that, Isaac. Hello from Quebec. Up here, we always make sure to shoot our cabin walls directly, all while sipping a good hot IPA. Anyway, sorry I'm late. Hey, Patrick, we're glad you're here. Feel free to leave that IPA outside where it can freeze in your ungodly cold weather. I know alcohol's not supposed to freeze, but I'm sure up there it does. Reason number 29,373 to carry a tourniquet. IPA should never be hot. IPA should never be drank, you weirdo. Anywho, I don't like any Isaac. A 22 mag is a really interesting round. I like a lot about it. For self-defense, I don't like any rimfire, just because it is not reliable and it has no advantage over other. It's okay, Patrick. Actually, I should call for my. I forgot to bring my beer in here. I should call for it, but I'm not feeling a beer tonight. IPAs, because men be gay. But yes, we like to shoot our cabin walls directly because in Canada they do it right. They have big timber in Canada though, so they can afford to shoot their walls directly. I've considered convincing my mom to get a Smith & Wesson Airweight in 22 mag defensive ammo is similar ballistically to an AR at short distance. Yeah, 22 mag is a really interesting round, and my dad loves it. That's kind of his go-to round, but it's rimfire, and sure, it's 95% reliable. Maybe it's 99% reliable. The problem is it is less reliable than other options and doesn't have any real advantage over other options. So why accept the disadvantage? For well, you can get 7 shots in any revolver now, Isaac. There's 7 shot 357s. There's 8 shot 357s. Now they're big revolvers. Uh, Patrick likes rum. Can you use the same bolt carrier group when converting an AR-15 from two? I'm sure that means 223 to 300 blackout. Yes, because it is the same cartridge case, just blown out to take a 30 caliber bullet instead of the 223 556. However you want to say that. So it is the same bolt face. It's the same bolt. It's just a different chamber. Oh, Halfcan is texting me. Well, if he could be texting, he could be on the live stream. Uh, Anywho, where were we? All right, so all of this, let's go back to bulletproof houses. Now, I actually had the option to have a bulletproof house. We're just going to keep. I'm going to go on about bulletproof houses for a minute. Best American rifle ever made. God and Eugene Stoner and Jim. What was Jim's last? Like Jim Evans or so, I don't know. The guy who actually turned the AR-10 into the AR-15 was a guy named Jim. I can't remember his name, uh, but he did a lot of the actual work of making the AR-10 into the AR-15. Jim, it's gonna drive me nuts. Where was I? I actually had the option to have a bulletproof house. I used to work for a company that built industrial metal buildings, and one of a series of buildings we made, and we made 6 of these, I think. They were going somewhere out in the Southwest, uh, and they had, I kid you not, man, an inch and a half of Kevlar all the way around them. We got this Kevlar in 4x10 sheets. It was 3/4 of an inch thick, and we put 3/4 of an inch on the inside and 3/4 of an inch on the outside, and then we covered it in metal. Jim D's nuts. Uh, and there was a bunch of it left over at the end of it, and guys were just grabbing it and taking it home. Uh, and I could have had 3 sheets of this stuff, and I kept working there for years. And all these guys took these sheets home, and all of them didn't know what to do with them because they weighed. I'm not making this up. This is a real number. They weighed 600 pounds apiece. A 4x10 sheet of 3/4 inch Kevlar weighs 600 pounds apiece. And all of these guys had these 600-pound sheets of Kevlar at the house that they didn't know what to do with. And they all were trying to give them all away. And I had the option to go get 3 or 4 sheets. I don't remember which. And I just couldn't figure out how to move them. I mean, those guys got them home. So clearly I could have gotten enough guys to pick them up. Uh, I have shotguns before, like a 1911 45. I've shot a 12 gauge, a mini Draco, and a Taurus G3. It's fun, but those were my buddy's guns, and that's what really made me get into guns. Well, if you've already got experience with that Taurus G3, Tobarama, that's a good pistol. I would think about that. Uh, and I really struggled with because I collect. I mean, if someone leaves a washer on the side of the road, I snag it. If I'm underneath a house and I find an old pressure regulator that some plumber switched out and threw up under, I snag it. I mean, I just collect garbage uh, because I love junk and scrap metal and stuff. Those sheets kinetic were 3/4 inch thick. They were thick. They were heavy as hell. And we actually brought a piece of it down here, just a square. and we shot it with 7 millimeter mag. Uh, yeah, but I got a lot of sons, Mark, but man, 600 pounds. Anyway, and that 7 millimeter mag didn't. It buckled it, it dented it, it bulged it out in the back, but it didn't penetrate it. And I shot it with 9 mil, and 9 mil didn't even scratch it. I mean, it was hysterical. And I was just thinking, man, if I'd gotten those 3 sheets and just built a porch on the front of the house and put them up at the front of the porch and like just put siding over it, so all you saw was, and it just looked like a porch with a chair rail on it, and I would have been basically completely bulletproof, 4 foot up, 30 foot the length of the house. That would have been really, 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 really cool. Alaskam is in the Netherlands. They can't have guns like in the U.S. Well, kinetic, I would have lined the living, basically in front of the front door, down the living room, just kind of where if you ever got into a gunfight, you'd be. I mean, it just would have been very, very cool. But I just was. I mean, I'm pretty poor now. Back then, it was terrible. I mean, we were destitute back then. And I just couldn't see ever being able to build a porch to put them up, and I didn't know how long they'd be sitting around, and where I'd store them, and what would happen to them in the meantime. And so I let them go. I didn't go get them, and it was the right choice because, like I said, I never would have got the chance. They'd still be sitting somewhere in a stack, getting in the way of stuff. They would have never gotten used. But man, it would have been cool. Uh, so can we bulletproof our houses? So earlier, I don't remember who it was. Oh, Reed. Reed's probably not with us anymore. He probably got bored and left. Uh, Reed kind of was talking about build a true brick wall, a double stack brick wall. Yeah, it does suck. Uh, and how now you actually have a thermally efficient structure that's also incredibly strong and would probably be bullet resistant. Uh, Now, yeah, sandbags, Isaac points out, it's easy to armor a home, just really expensive. Uh, Sandbags, but that much sand's incredibly heavy. So if you poured a good footer and you built those that uh double a real brick wall, not a brick facade wall, where you had 2 rows of bricks tied into each other periodically, and you filled that wall with sand. I'm assuming that you're probably bulletproof for all intents and purposes. Uh, but that's a lot of money. I'm not that sand is all that expensive. I guess even if you filled it with dirt, you'd be okay. But boy, you're gonna have a really good footer because that is going to be a heavy ass wall. I mean, that is going to be a heavy. Even if you just, oh well, this might be a good idea. Maybe you just built that kind of real brick wall, maybe 3 or 4 foot up, maybe up to the bottom of the window levels or something, and then you did a regular wall above that, so it wouldn't be so heavy, wouldn't be so expensive. And so at least then the windows are resting on everything at the window level and below is bulletproof. Maybe just across the front, maybe needed across the back. I don't know. Uh, uh, Old tires, they use them in designs for Earthship's off-grid homes. Now that is a really interesting idea, William, that I had not thought of. That you could build some kind of like crazy Earthship house out of dirt-filled tires, uh, and that would. I mean, they make range backstops with those. That's gonna effectively stop anything. You're like, I mean, sure, I guess 50 cal is gonna punch through it. Oh, wow. Patrick says it's actually illegal in Quebec to fortify bulletproof a building. Night vision is also illegal in Canada. Wow. Probably cheaper to pour a concrete walled house. Okay, Mark. Now that's also interesting that I hadn't thought of. Just poured walls, the whole house just be uh, a concrete structure. Uh, I wonder how thick they'd have to be in order to be concrete. Because I know concrete block is not bulletproof. Yeah, we're already at 20%. This is going quick. I might have to break down and replace my phone at some point. I do not want to do that though. Let's see if I can get a few extra minutes. Try to hold the plug in. Okay. So, but yeah, if you made a thermally efficient house, you could make it bulletproof because I think that would be, the similar part. You just need something thick. Uh, uh, I like the idea of the concrete, the poured concrete. I have no idea what that cost, how expensive it is. I also really like the tires, the dirt filled tires, because you can get a lot of tires. Okay, Patrick, he's talking about Canada. It's the bunker law passed about 20 years ago during the biker wars. It was ugly between the Hells Angels and the Banditos. But, like, can they really say if you're making your house thick and strong because it's bulletproof or because it's thermal? You know what I always wanted to do? Because I live in an area with a lot of granite. I don't live far from where the Georgia Guidestones used to be. And I always wanted to go get some nice big granite slabs. And yeah, tires are free. That's their big thing. And and just set them up. Stand them up on end. Have them be 10 foot high or 8 foot high or whatever. Uh, and build and just have put those side by side and have a granite slab walled house. Uh, and then obviously you've got to have a really solid foundation, and you got to make sure you really know where you want your windows and doors to be. uh, so Dean says cinder block walls, rebarred and backfilled, steel plate backer up to the bottom of the windows on exterior walls. Hey, Adam's here. Yeah, I think that would work, Dean. He was trying to watch, but the internet was being troublesome. Alakazam says, the question is, why would you need a fortified house? All right, so first off, it's not about need, it's about want. All right, this is America. I get to have what I want. Uh, it is my God given right to be a little over the top. We drive big trucks, we have big guns, we have big breasted women, we have big gulps. Uh, it's America. We don't have to need things, we don't need anything. We want something. But the best way to maintain your free peace comes through strength. Uh, uh, you never receive peace through weakness. You, I know we hear this all the time from some of our globalist overlords. We're like, well, your strength just invites conflict. Well, that's bullshit. That is a bullshit lie. Strength invites conflict. If people want to screw with you, you're not strong. Uh, if your house is bulletproof, people think twice about shooting at you. Now, you're thinking, well, how many people are shooting at you, you violent American pig dog? My government. My government, listen to me, my government's not trustworthy. My government is not trustworthy. My government is not trustworthy. My government shot a pregnant woman holding a baby at Ruby Ridge. I bet Randy Weaver would have liked to have had a bulletproof house. Hey, Ryan's here. Uh, yeah, I remember when New York tried to outlaw the big gulp. Uh, the biggest threat in this nation is our government. And we're going to talk about this is going to take us into our next topic. All right. If I am a hard target, it's that much harder for my government to take my rights away from me. Windows are a problem, Mark. You're right. Yeah. And 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 please do not think your government does not want to take your rights away from you. We were getting to Waco next, Dean. Uh, yeah, we'll get there, Isaac. Uh, and those are just the big ones we know about. There's been so many more. There was a guy in Maryland whose niece just decided he was a crazy right wing Trumper, so she called him in for a red flag law. And the cops came to take his guns away because he'd had a red flag called in on him. And he rightly stood up and said, "No, you can't have my guns." And he defended himself, and he got killed in the shootout, murdered. Uh, he would have liked to have had a bulletproof house. I hope his niece went to jail. I hope that woman. She's not. She's not. You know, she murdered her uncle though. It would. It would have behooved that man to have a bulletproof house. So anywho, it's not about need, it's about want. But on top of that, we have a need because our government is armed to the teeth. Our our cops have tanks or APCs. They have grenade launchers. They have night vision. They have sophisticated comms. They've got helicopters. They've got exploding robots. Don't laugh, they do. They used it in Houston when uh, that that guy was shot the five cops in Houston. They killed him with a robot armed with a bomb. That was to me that is still that we should all be up in arms about that. Because say what you want, the guy was killing cops. Fine, if he'd been arrested and sent to and faced a jury of his peers, I would have supported him going the death penalty right away. But you can't. That was an extrajudicial killing. When they blew him up, he was a threat to no one. He because they couldn't have blown him up if he was a threat to. That was a terrible, 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 terrible thing. I need to do a video on that. I think I did do a video on it at the time. Oh yeah, I remember Killdozer. Killdozer was awesome. Uh, but anywho, I wish I could remember that guy's name. So yeah, our government cannot be trusted. Our government is, and all governments are. It's not just America's government. All governments are this way. It's a cliche. You can laugh about it. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely, it's true. If you give people power over you, that power will corrupt them. Uh, you're actually harming your neighbor when you give your government power over you, because you are encouraging the individuals in your government to become immoral. Uh, and you are putting temptation in front of your brother when you let your government have power over you, inordinate, especially inordinate amounts of power, especially as much power as our government has over us. You're actually putting a stumbling block in your brother, tempting him to be a thief and a murderer. You're literally doing it. You've bared your throat. You've said, here's all of my fortune. Here's my women and my children. All you have to do is abuse this power I've given you, and you can take it all. That's not a loving thing to do to a man, to put him in that temptation. And that brings us to our other topic tonight, Karen's muscle. What are what our law enforcement institutions have devolved down into? Law enforcement was originally conceived as this professional trained force of courageous, civic-minded men who were going to ensure the safety and security of the citizens. They're going to protect their freedoms and protect their property, and would, at great personal risk and discomfort, go out and be that watchman on the wall, the thin blue line, and all this shit. And you know what? Some of them may be that, especially at the local level. Some of them may be that. But Isaac went to vote either today or I don't know. He voted recently, and he wore a Trump hat into the polling station. Now, most states have laws against campaigning at polling places, so he knows he was being a little bit of a rebel when he did it. But there was some little Karen in there who called the cops on him for having his Trump hat on while he voted. It was today. And when he showed up, this was the telling part to me. When he showed up and he tried to talk to Isaac, Karen told him, "Don't no, you just stand there and you enforce the law. I'll do the talking." Okay, so this is what our cops have devolved down into. They've devolved down into Karen's muscle, because that's a Karen, and all she wanted was a threat to back up her words and enforce her will. I listen to a lot of feminist podcasts. I might have to cut them down though, because they're really hard to listen to. And I listened to these feminists the other day talking about how feminism requires big government. Feminism requires let's say empowered right now, an empowered police force, because without an empowered police force, women have to have the protection of men. They have to. They can't function without it. And the reason why they hate patriarchy so much is they hate having to purchase that protection. They hate having to have any sort of an exchange for that protection. They want the protection of men without the inconvenience of men. And that's what cops have become in the Western world. They've become a way for women to protect themselves at no personal expense. Here's a story. When I was a young man, I was in the Marine Corps. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before. And we were going to Haiti. I was in the infantry, but I was an anti-tank infantryman. I wasn't a standard infantryman. But because of this weird thing we were doing in Haiti, I was part of a provisional rifle company, and one of the things we had to train to do was VIP protection, because this was the Clinton years, and there was a bunch of VIPs in and out of Haiti, looking at all the alleged. Anyway, we had to do VIP protection. And one of the first rules of the VIP protection they were teaching us was that it didn't matter. I was actually a private at the time, an E1 private. I picked up E2 during this workup, probably right as I was getting this training. And it said, it doesn't matter if you're an E1 private. If you're on a security detail and you are the security detail for a general, it could be it could be General, by God, Dwight D. Eisenhower, himself, the first 5-star general. And if you felt like that area was unsafe, you could grab him by his collar and drag him out of there. When you're in charge of security, when you're in charge of protection, you have ultimate authority, because it's your life on the line. You're the one who has to make the decisions. You can't be getting second guessed by anybody. Now, when you drag his ass back to somewhere safe and he reasserts positive control, he might, eat you up one side and down the other. But in that moment, when you're responsible for security, when you're providing protection, you're in charge. You have the authority. And women hate that. Well, a certain kind of woman hates that. A bad kind of woman. But they hate that. A vast part of feminism is getting themselves out of that bargain. Out of that bargain where we provide protection and security, and they provide comfort and whatever you want your woman to provide you. They want they want the protection and the security at any cost to them. And this is the whole thing behind the slut walk stuff. I should be able to walk down the street at midnight naked with no fear. Well, no, no, you shouldn't. You don't live in a world where there are no consequences. You don't live in a world where everything around you exists without any input from you. All right. Uh, and what Karen has devolved our police force down into is not a force for justice, because how many of us have known men who've been dragged out of their houses in handcuffs? It happened to me. I have been led off of my property in handcuffs, put in the back of a police car with the lights flashing and driven off. And the cop telling me the whole time, sir, you've not done anything wrong. You're not under arrest. This isn't about you. We just need to make sure this woman feels safe. Those were the words that came out of his mouth. We just need to make this woman feel safe. So I had to be handcuffed in front of my children. It might not have been in front of my children that time. Because there was one time I was handcuffed and taken away, and I shouldn't have been, but I participated in that event. Uh, but anywho, but there was one time when, I mean, this message is held for review. I wonder what happened. You have to take a look at that, moderators. I want to know why that was held for review. Uh, and that's what our police have devolved down into. Uh, and in other places, it's gotten worse. You go to the UK. Thanks, Isaac. And over there, the police force isn't even about protecting Karen anymore. It's about suppressing unpopular opinions, and they don't even pretend it's not. Some of the feminist podcasts I follow have been women who were arrested in the UK for simply saying that that a man can't be a woman, and just saying it, not like saying I'll kill trannies or anything like that. Just saying no, men can't be women, and they were arrested by the police. Right, in the UK, you can't pray in public. They arrested a woman for praying on the sidewalk. It's over. That's what the police are now. And it's really interesting to me that this has been let loose on women. Women are getting arrested for praying on the sidewalk. Women are getting arrested for having unpopular opinions. It has rebounded back on some feminists. Some of these gender critical feminists, the quote unquote TERFs, are the ones getting arrested. But it is coming back on the conservative women too. That woman praying on the sidewalk in front of the abortion clinic was a conservative woman, and probably a pretty good woman at that. So that bargain they made, or their rejection of that bargain they made, where they rejected the protection of a man in exchange for their service as a woman, service in the best possible, well, best and worst possible uh, uh, version. Sorry, a comment caught me sideways, and I'm not sure what it. Your test didn't work. So, Patrick, what's going on, brother? uh, they still don't have the protection, all right? Because they tried to hire. I don't know why they thought this was going to work. They fired their husbands and their fathers. Uh, God, another one held for review. You guys are on a roll. Uh, oh, I guess y'all are testing the algorithm to see what it blocks. Uh, that's funny. Damn Canadians. Uh, they rejected the protection of their husbands and their fathers and their brothers, and they thought they could buy the protection of the police. And what they found is that the police don't give a rat's ass about them. The police care about their jobs. And so whatever the politically correct thing at the moment is what the police are going to protect and or prosecute. Uh, hey, Wes is here. Uh, and is that Isaac swearing? Uh, uh, and so they still don't have protection. Uh, they thought they could hire for minimum wage, dumb men to do what they told them to do, and what they found it out is that the dumb men, uh, and look, there are good cops. Yes, there are very, 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 very good cops. But the institution itself has been corrupted. And my Baptist side is dark right now. The institution itself has been corrupted. All right. They don't arrest bad guys. They arrest the politically unpopular. And sometimes that's bad guys. And sometimes that's a man correcting his children. All right. So it's not about justice. Only moderators can cuss. So, Wes, that's awesome. So, anywho, that's what we wanted to talk about this evening. The bulletproofing of the houses. You guys had some really good ideas I hadn't thought of. Uh, and then I just wanted to talk a little bit about Karen and her muscle. You know, the institution of policing, not necessarily individual policemen, but the institution of policing has been corrupted to where it was about being muscle for Karen, freeing Karen from her social contract. Dear God, y'all had to challenge Dean. He's like, "Hey, y'all hold my APA. You think that's cussing? Hold my IPA." Palmetto's going to join in here in a minute. Where was I? Yeah, the police are now about enforcing the political status quo. And whatever that political status quo is what they will enforce. You know, certain groups can riot across the nation with no consequences whatsoever, and certain groups can't have a mildly chaotic rally without people going to jail for years on end. And guess which side Karen is on in that debate? Karen is on the side that can riot for an entire summer, burn down cities, kill cops. Yeah, chat just went full Tourette's mode. Yeah, we investigated ourselves and have found no wrongdoing. After thorough investigation, we have found that we are innocent. And that's what I see what you did there, Dean. And that is what the criminal justice system has devolved down into. And we need to now. All of you know that white men have known for a while that cops aren't really here for us. There was a time when black men knew that cops weren't here for them. You know, it's our turn in the barrel, round robin. But they're not here to protect you. They're not here. They're not here to guard your freedoms or even guard your property. They're not even here to enforce laws. Again, remember the BLM riots. Those laws. Look at the border. That dumbass in the White House keeps telling me pass the law so I can secure the border. Do you know how many laws we have saying it's illegal to? It's already a law. It's illegal to cross the border without a passport. I think it's illegal to pass the border at a place other than a port of entry. But they do it all the time, and there's law enforcement standing right there watching them. All right? So the law enforcement is not down there to enforce the law. it's down there to protect the political status quo. And that's why we need bulletproof houses. All right. That's why I don't know if our Netherlands, our Dutch friend is still here. Who was that? Tabarimi, Suzuki. He asked us, why do we need bulletproof houses? Because that's why we need bulletproof houses, because our policing institutions have devolved down into the protectors of the political status quo. And not to protect us, not to protect our liberties, not to secure the peace, not to protect property. They are here to protect the political status quo. All righty, man. Good live stream. I've enjoyed that. Y'all always, you guys are always far more entertaining than I am, especially this evening. Uh, but yeah. So it sounded like the consensus was that poured concrete walls were the way to go if you want to bulletproof your house. And it sounds like it's really only necessary to bulletproof the house up to the bottom of the windows. And even at that point, windows are still a problem because they are going to shoot tear gas into your windows, or they're going to shoot incendiary devices that they claim are tear gas canisters into your windows. And then when everything burns down, they're going to claim that you did it yourself with a kerosene lantern. Yeah, drones. You should have seen the look on the sheriff's face when I told him we only needed a sheriff office of 2 people, sheriff and deputy / county coroner, and people should govern themselves. I bet he didn't like that. Chicken wire them windows. That's actually a good point. If you actually knew that things were going to get weird, you would do some kind of screen that would. Valentine Artist Blacksmith. I don't believe I've seen you here before, sir. Welcome. Stone houses. We touched briefly on stone houses earlier. I think Dean is out. Dean, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Dean, if you haven't left, do you see your? I don't know if you can see it right there. There's your bipod. Jellic SC just got here. I'm sorry, Jellic. We're winding down. But all right. Good night, Skender. We appreciate you, sir. Isaac, thank you for the moderation and the good topic. And Ryan, good evening. Thank you. I'm sorry, Jellic. It was a good live stream. The chat was incredibly entertaining. Rather than watch the live stream, I would probably read the replay of the chat. Hey, Okie Storm Chaser is just here. 2x8 stud, 1/2-inch ply both sides, filled with gravel. That is going to weigh 1,000,000 pounds. Hey, Sharon! We haven't seen Sharon in person in a while. Hold on a second. Let's read Sharon's comment. There is a very expensive product out there that can be applied to windows that prevents penetration. I don't remember the name of the product, but it was amazing. Okay, cool. Patrick, good night. Thank you for the entertainment, sir. Trim your beard. I don't know, Mark. Maybe. We'll see. Every once in a while, I get this corner right here when it starts getting weird. It might be time to get that weird corner again. 3M film. Thank you, Joel. Les, I think we were well behaved, gentlemen. Oh, Valentine hangs out with Pete Rambo. If you get him drunk enough, Pete Rambo will admit to sometimes hanging out with me. But he's got to be really, really drunk. Really, 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 really drunk. No, I love Pete. He's a good brother, and I try not to embarrass him, but I think sometimes maybe I do. Isaac. Master Sergeant, good evening, sir. All right, everyone, we're gonna call it a night. We appreciate you. I have a secret project I have to go work on for a little while because I have to go to my paying job. 3M condoms. Can you show me a gun? No, Jalek, I cannot show you a gun. They will. Of course, I'm about to shut down the live stream anyway. But I think I think they actually they ban they suspend your ability to live stream for a while when you do that, and they have to shut you down. All right, all. We appreciate you all. Have a good evening. We look forward to talking to you. We will probably get back on this regular schedule for a while now, so we will probably see you next week. All right. Good evening, guys.